deliver drinks too. I'm gonna put this here. Hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks for coming out tonight. Just preparing myself so I'm making banter. Confessions of a Teenage Shoplifter. It started at Dream Merchant, the trendy punk fashion store in the Galleria. Leather bracelets with spikes, fishnet pantyhose, Susie Sue posters, Morrissey stickers. I didn't have the money to buy the stylish items my angsty little preteen heart wanted so badly. And I figured since the philosophy of punk rock is to defy authority, do whatever you want, and always cause trouble, my actions were completely justified. Stealing was the truly punk way to get cool stuff. I got really good at shoplifting and decided that I deserved to take whatever I wanted since I was brave and smart enough to get away with it. And the rush of walking out of stores with pockets full of new free stuff was exhilarating. The terrifying fear of walking through the store exit and potentially being stopped, tackled, and even arrested gave way to a tidal wave of relief and accomplishment that increased with each step outside the door. And I quickly became addicted to that fear/relief combination. I was 13 years old, the youngest of my siblings, and I was the ringleader. My two sisters and I got more and more professional with every heist. We planned our attacks, cased out different stores, dressed for maximum pocket storage. We even invested in a long velvet trench coat to hide those long plastic CD cases. This was pre-alarms and definitely pre-iPods. We began stealing entire outfits, hundreds of dollars worth of clothes and jewelry at a time. We were the best dressed poor kids with the biggest music collection around. I got a big head. I could do this shit in my sleep with one sticky-fingered hand tied behind my back. So when my friends and I went to the mall together the day after my 14th birthday party, and one of them asked me to lift her some jewelry at Claire's boutique, I chose to ignore the bad feeling I got about the employee following me around. I knew that I was being watched, but pride and hubris convinced me I could get away with anything. When the security guard pulled me back into the store and forced me to empty my pockets, I burned with shame and embarrassment. Not from getting caught. Not from doing wrong, but from getting caught. The shame was enough to keep me from shoplifting during my entire high school career. Plus, I was finally old enough to work at a local diner on the weekends and pay for the shit I wanted. For the excitement, I busied myself with becoming an animal rights activist who called meat eaters murderers and threw red paint on people who wore fur. I slam danced at punk rock shows and hung out with anti-racist skinheads who liked to beat up neo-Nazis. As long as I maintained straight A's, I could get into all the crazy trouble and no one would notice. Cut to my first year at the University of Houston. Go Cougs. I was an English major in the Honors College. I met a business major named Carla. She loved the Beastie Boys, going out dancing at local blues clubs, and never paying for books. She taught me how to get to the UC. She taught me how to go to the UC wearing baggy pants and a sweater and slide one book down the front of my pants and the other one down the back. I did this on numerous occasions, saving upwards of $1,000 on books each semester and reviving that sense of danger and thrill I had been missing all my life. Each time I got away with stealing another book, I walked across campus elated to my dorm room, ironically located in Law Hall. My boyfriend at the time shared my enthusiasm, and before long, we were stealing from other stores together. Our biggest accomplishment was walking into a Target with a large empty plastic bag folded into my pocket, then walking out 15 minutes later with 2 brand new pairs of rollerblades inside the same bag. We were so proud, and it was obviously the 90s. But we were fully aware that we could go to jail over this and be tried as adults. I was 18 and he was 19, and it was time to retire. We had our futures to think about, and with all the new security measures being taken in stores, like hidden tags and sophisticated alarm sensors, we were both smart enough to know our luck would run out sooner than later. And yet, when my book-stealing friend Carla saw a couch collecting dust in the corner of the dorm common area and decided it would look great on her patio at Cambridge Oaks Apartments, we all jumped at the chance to pull off one last job. This time, it was going to be theatrical. We knew what needed to be done. We had to dress up like laborers, university employees, like some union workers who were moving a couch from one dorm to another, boss's orders, all in a day's work, etc. Imagine for a moment 3 students in overalls, dickies, pretending to be Teamsters. We were ridiculous. And somehow, we walked that couch from Law Hall to Cambridge Oaks, waddling little Luigis, cursing in our put-on New York accents. And no one stopped us. No one even raised an eyebrow. I went to the University of Houston. Those places are far apart from each other. We were brilliant. We were thespians of the highest caliber. We were going to enjoy the hell out of that couch for an entire next semester. And that was the high note of which I chose to end my shoplifting career. I took a good look at my previous rationale for stealing and came to the conclusion that it was never justifiable. The universe didn't owe me anything just because I was born poor. And at the end of the day, all you really have is your morality. I didn't steal again. Epilogue. Years later, I was telling a ballet dancer friend of mine the couch story, and she told me a story of thieverous proportions so grand that my stories paled in comparison. They couldn't even hold a candle to it. A stolen Yankee candle, of course, because they're more expensive. During her final years at the Houston Ballet Academy, she was performing in the Nutcracker for the last time at the Wortham Center. She began to think about all those years she had devoted to the ballet and all the time she spent performing different roles in the Nutcracker, all the pointed shoes, bleeding toes, diets, bruises, torn muscles, all the love and pain, the overbearing teachers, the sweaty partners, the blinding stage lights, the thunderous applause, all of those danced through her head as she wandered through the enormous lobby with a large winding couch in the center. And she stopped. She walked over to that winding leather couch, picked up a 3-foot section, and carried it into the elevator, and down to her car, and loaded it in. Then she went back and got another section, and then another. And once she had her own mini winding couch crammed in her vehicle, she drove away, smiling sweetly at the security guard with her rosy red cheeks and ornamented bun on her head. And she took that couch to college and started a whole new life.